Front Row announces their 2022 driver lineup, and the mayor of Nashville says he wants NASCAR to return to the fairgrounds ASAP. It's been a few days. I don't remember the last time this show took 3 days off, but I hope you all had a fantastic Thanksgiving, a fantastic weekend. We've got lots to react to. First, I want to shout out, if you aren't following my TikTok, be sure to check that out. That link is down in the description below. Been posting a lot of fun clips and much more over there. Also, this episode is sponsored by my friends at Unveils Farm. Unveils is a premium provider of high-quality, handcrafted, small batch meat snacks and products. Real meat for real life, no artificial flavors, colors, corn syrup. They have over 13 varieties of snack sticks, including flavors like mango habanero and bacon cheddar. And personally, I'm a big fan of their beef jerky line. They've got original beef flavor, also peppered beef and teriyaki. Lots of great flavors available just in time for the holiday season. And fans of Out of the Groove can get a special discount. Head to wenzelsfarm.com, that link is down in the description, and use the promo code FUEL at checkout. You'll get 20% off your order. Great holiday gift, so be sure to check out that special offer. Thank you to Unveils Farm for being such incredible partners, incredible sponsors of Out of the Groove all year long. Before we get to Nashville Fairgrounds news, let's talk some NASCAR silly season this morning. Kyle Busch Motorsports confirmed that Chandler Smith will return to the team next year. Smith raced full-time for KBM in trucks this year. He won 2 races late in the season. He won Bristol and he actually won the finale at Phoenix, even though he was not championship eligible at that point. But it was a pretty good overall season for the young driver. He's still only 19 years old. I'm thrilled to see him coming back. I know John Hunter Nemechek won 5 races for KBM this year, but before this season, recent young KBM drivers had not found victory lane consistently. Harrison Burton, we'll talk about Todd Gilliland in a moment, Christian Eckes, etc. So it was a nice change of pace to see not only John Hunter, who has Cup Series experience, we expected him to be good, but also to see the young teenager Chandler Smith win races, make the playoffs. Glad to see KBM bringing him back for another season. Now, Front Row Motorsports made a big announcement today. They confirmed their entire 2022 driver lineup across not just Cup, but trucks as well. Today, Front Row confirmed that Michael McDowell will return to the 34 next year and announced that Todd Gilliland will make his Cup Series debut and will race full-time in the 38 car. Another Rookie of the Year contender has joined the battle. Also, Zane Smith will drive for the team in the Truck Series next year. Lots to react to. Let's start with the Cup Series side of things. First, Michael McDowell returned to the 34 car. If that wasn't already confirmed, we all pretty much knew it was happening. Veteran driver, good road course racer, just won the Daytona 500. Yeah, he deserves that ride. But let's talk about Todd Gilliland. This is a multi-year deal, apparently, according to Bob Pockrass, and actually so is that Zane Smith truck deal. Todd Gilliland is very young, 21 years old, but he does have nearly 4 full years of Truck Series experience. He's driven for Front Row the last 2 years, and then he spent almost 2 full seasons driving for KBM. He got 1 win in trucks for KBM back in 2019, and then he won this year once for Front Row. 2021 was his best overall year in trucks. He had a career best average finish of 9.5, but he's about to make a huge leap to the Cup Series, completely bypassing the NASCAR Xfinity Series. He has 0 starts in Xfinity. He's a 2-time K&N West Series champion back in 2016 and 2017. He's won, a ton of races in the K&N East and West back in the day. Won a couple ARCA races as well, but it's hard for me to take those numbers super seriously. Like, that's good. I'm glad he won those races. He was supposed to. But no Xfinity Series starts. They're throwing him right into the Cup Series without a lifeline. This will be the 4th straight year with a rookie in that 38 car. Tift in 2019, Nemechek in 2020, Alfredo this year, and Gilliland next year. I don't clearly see the vision Front Row has for their Cup Series team, but we'll talk more about that in just a moment. I want to quickly transition over to Zane Smith because I'm thrilled to see him land with Front Row in the Truck Series, that 38 truck. I'm a big fan of this move for both parties. Zane Smith was reportedly signed with Chip Ganassi Racing for this year. He was going to move from trucks to the Cup Series and drive the 1 car replacing Kurt Busch. That was until Chip Ganassi sold to Trackhouse. At that point, his contract with them was null. I like Zane Smith, but was he ready for a playoff caliber ride in the Cup Series at this point in his career? Absolutely not. He has won 3 races over the last 2 seasons in trucks, and he has made it to the championship for both years. So he is talented and he is young. He's only 22 years old, still has a lot of room to grow, but I don't think he's Cup Series ready yet. I'm thrilled that instead he will be in trucks once again in another championship contending ride. I think that's what suits him best. I think a great great truck or a good Xfinity ride would fit Zane Smith well right now. So I'm glad when the Cup Series deal fell apart, I'm glad he still landed with a contender. That's great. And I say it's great for front row, it's also great for Ford because they're adding a young, talented driver into their pipeline, a pipeline that's been somewhat depleted the last couple of years now that Cole Custer and Chase Briscoe are both meandering in the Cup Series for the time being. Like, Ford doesn't have much else to be excited about in its lower ranks at this point. I mean, you got Haley Deegan doing her thing. That's about it. Adding Zane Smith in some capacity I think is big for Ford as much as it is for front row. So I love their Truck Series move bringing Zane Smith in. I think that's genius. But now let's shift back to the Cup Series. We have to ask why Todd Gilliland, a guy again with zero Xfinity experience to his credit. Remember, front row was seconds away from selling this charter, selling the 38 charter to 2311 when they decided last minute not to take the deal. So is Todd Gilliland bringing some major sponsorship? Perhaps. Maybe Zane Smith is bringing some funding to that 38 truck and that's why they're making this Cup Series move. We all know Todd Gilliland has some connections to the team through his father, David Gilliland, who drove full-time for front row from 2010 to 2015 and made a few starts even after that. So it's not shocking to see Todd Gilliland get the promotion into the Cup Series, but I have to ask, what is the long-term plan? Like I said, it's not really clear what front row's vision is. I feel like front row motorsports is this close to being actually competitive, like a legitimate playoff contender year in, year out, but they insist every year on putting a new kind of afterthought rookie into that 38 car. Part of me was intrigued and a little excited about the reports that they were going to sell a charter to 2311 because then it sounded like they could devote more time, more energy, more resources to that 34 car. With Michael McDowell, again, a veteran driver who just won the Daytona 500, and we all know he's a very good road course racer, with the next gen car that had the possibility, and still does, have the possibility of being a tremendous combination. Not a championship contender, but a legitimate playoff team. So knowing that, I kind of hope front row would put most of their focus and energy into that program and maybe help that 34 car be a decent contender this year. But instead, you're going to put Todd Gilliland, a guy who's really not Cup Series ready in my opinion, in the 38. Like, I mean, he'll be fine. I don't think he's really going to hurt anyone over there, but it kind of feels like front row's just making it all up as they go along. Oh yeah, we're going to sell our charter. Maybe we'll even sell the whole Cup Series team. No, we're not going to sell the whole team. Oh, we're not even going to sell that charter. No, in fact, we're going to bring Todd Gilliland up to the Cup Series. Nobody saw that one coming. I don't know. I want more competitive teams in NASCAR. I want front row to be a legitimate playoff team year in, year out. I feel like front row is this close to being like RCR, where they have usually at least one driver in the playoffs every year, or like Chip Ganassi was, where they usually have at least one car in the playoffs. Like, I feel like front row is this close to being as good as those teams. Instead, they're still closer to like Aspire, who's still trying to get off the ground, so to speak, or like Richard Petty Motorsports, which has been floundering for the better part of a decade. The next gen car will probably improve their performance a bit next season. I don't know that Todd Gilliland is going to improve their performance. He's a slight upgrade, I'd say. He's a little more ready than Anthony Alfredo was last year. Alfredo hadn't run any full-time seasons in any NASCAR series and hadn't won anything in the top levels of NASCAR. At least Todd Gilliland has a few years of truck experience. He's won a couple of races, so he's a slight upgrade in that respect. But pardon me if I don't get super excited about Todd Gilliland in a front row motorsports Cup Series car. Now, it's a big news day. It's been a big news week. Yesterday, there was an article in the Tennessean with the headline reading, Nashville Mayor John Cooper to announce deal to bring NASCAR back to Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. On its face, this news sounds very, very exciting, but again, I think we gotta pump the brakes just a little bit. You'll recall all the way back in like February or March, I believe, this same mayor, John Cooper, mayor of Nashville, signed a letter of intent to bring NASCAR back to the fairgrounds. And at the time, he was saying things like, oh, we think NASCAR could return by 2022. We now know that's obviously not happening. So we've known that the mayor at least supports NASCAR's return to the fairgrounds, supports renovating the speedway and bringing major events back to it very, very soon. We've known that all year long. So now in this article, it does talk about how the mayor of Nashville is willing to allocate up to, $50 million to help renovate the speedway, which is serious money, and that's important if all things get approved. But even this article from the Tennessean acknowledges that there's still a lot that needs to be approved. This deal is subject to approval by the Board of Fair Commissioners and Metropolitan Council. Same old, same old. Anytime Nashville Fairgrounds stuff comes up, we've talked about how local residents, many are concerned about, traffic, increased traffic, or noise levels. The track sits in a fairly densely populated neighborhood, so many of them, justifiably so, have had concerns about these proposed renovations. In this article, it talks about a community group, Stand Up Nashville, going door to door to 310 nearby residents residents, and they found that 74% had some concerns about renovating Nashville Fairgrounds. So while it's exciting and important to have Bristol Motor Speedway and Speedway Motorsports involved, to have the blessing from the mayor of Nashville, there is still an approval process that seems to continuously get delayed and delayed. I still think it's going to happen eventually. NASCAR will race at Nashville Fairgrounds once again within the next few years. Speedway Motorsports has a plan. They own Bristol Motor Speedway, and Bristol Motor Speedway is trying to take over ownership of Nashville Fairgrounds, all the operating costs and such. And Speedway Motorsports, as we talked about a couple weeks ago, is purchasing Dover, which includes Dover and Nashville Super Speedway across town. I theorized then that one of the likely reasons for that acquisition was to buy up their dates on the schedule, if you will, or to have that added flexibility. Once North Wilkesboro gets renovated, which they are seemingly in the process of doing so as we speak, and once Nashville Fairgrounds presumably gets renovated, SMI is going to have 2 exciting short tracks to add to the schedule, and they're going to need places on the schedule to slot them in. The more tracks you own, the more flexible you can be. I don't know if that's what they're thinking, but I think it's certainly a legit possibility over the next couple of years. Not much else to react to. Again, like I said, not a whole lot of new information in this most recent article, but it's exciting as always to hear the mayor talking about it, especially when he's supporting it. If you're a fan of Nashville Fairgrounds, if you're a fan that lives in the area, if you want to see NASCAR return to a great short track and see that short track get a facelift, this is exciting. Very exciting to see so much chatter, so much conversation around it. But that is going to do it for today's episode. Thank you all so much for watching. Share your thoughts in the comments below. How do you feel about Front Row's driver lineup for next year? How do you feel about the possibility of NASCAR returning to the Nashville Fairgrounds? What sort of timetable are you looking at to see if NASCAR returns? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel. Yes, it's the off season, but as you can see, the news cycle is not slowing down very much. Lots to talk about. You're not going to want to miss a thing. As always, a huge thank you to my amazing Patreon supporters as well. Again, be sure to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. All those links are down in the description below. I'll see y'all in the next video. Have a fantastic rest of your day.